And I really enjoy this section coming up here. The Dark Knight, Batman, Bruce Wayne, because I used to consider myself a fan of this character, a fanatic. I thought I knew him, and when I was more confused, I thought I had a great understanding of the character. I just thought, okay, Bruce Wayne, Batman is just he's just an insane person. He's an insane person. He dresses like a bat and goes around and fights other insane people who dress up as other things. I noticed I didn't say white person. I didn't say any of that because I didn't even view him as probably a white person. I just saw him as a person when I was more confused. But now as I am less confused, I understand that Batman, the Cape Crusader, you know, the Darkest of Nights, he's a insane racist white person. That's a more correct description of this character. He's an insane white person, racist, who practices immense amounts of deceit and direct violence, and uses Black people and non-white females in a manner of various ways. I reminded of the character Lucius Fox from The Dark Knight, with Heath Ledger and Christian Bale, and how Lucius Fox was just Batman's little helper. He really just assisted Batman, and if people are familiar with the book Color Monitors, you'll have another understanding of how Black people are coded into films, because that book, written by a white person, Martin Kevorkian, says that Black people in technology and film go hand in hand, because white people like to contain Black people, because they don't want to see Black people kicking ass. They don't want to see Black heroes, basically. So Black people are allowed to sit in front of a computer screen while contained in a small room, and that's what Lucius Fox does. And what's his name? Lucius Fox. What does Lucius mean? Some dictionaries say that it means light, and Fox is an animal. So I think that's a coded racist name, naming a Black male a animal, a fox. And he could represent light, because in that film he does give Batman the light to see all where people are, like where all people are who have a phone in that film. So I think that's a really refined coded message that we're seeing in these films. If people can combine all the text, if you combine race code war with Color Monitors and the ISIS paper, if you just combine all our understanding, we can really see a lot of messages in these films, I think. And did just my own analysis. This is not from what we read. And really, really interesting. I'll mute my line for now, see if folks want to chime in.
Yeah, just quickly on 199, page 199, where Kari Anahara says the war on crime means, in symbolic connotation, a war on dark and Black people. All of Batman's regalia suggests that he perceives blackness, darkness, and crime as one and the same. He is called Dark Knight, which when decoded means a Black character fighting the dark evil, or fire with fire. Yeah, he's called the Dark Knight, which when decoded means a Black character fighting the dark evil, or fire with fire. So you need a Black person or a Black figure to go against these Black people or these Black animals. To become a successful crime fighter, Batman believes that he must wear dark clothes to camouflage himself among dark people and dark criminal surroundings. Batman is regarded as the Dark Knight from the darkened streets. Every aspect of his life and being is shrouded in darkness. Yeah, the way I interpret that, like Batman as a character, is it's just a white supremacist living out his fantasy of donning some sort of Black exterior because he perceives it to be more menacing, and fighting crime or fighting Black people. Anytime when Spider-Man is bad, he has to be Black. right? He has to be black too, not white. When Natalie Portman wants to be bad, she's the black swan. Yeah, and anyway, I'll mute my line.
Yeah, thanks for reading, because yeah, that's true. In order for him to go act his war on crime, his war on non-white people, he has to first become a criminal. He has to look like a criminal, which is why he wears the black and functions like a white criminal while he's out Cape crusading. And just our terminology that white people have put behind this character, Cape crusading. I'm sure that's if one has done their studies, we can recall white people going around during the Crusades and slaughtering non-white people and other people who did not agree with them in regards to becoming a Christian or just being subjugated to them in any way, shape, or form. So just that probably echoes like a lot when a white person sees the character Batman. Perhaps that's why he's so celebrated and renowned globally, because he represents a lot. You know, the Dark Knight, Cape Crusader, white people's long history of killing and slaughtering people in the night, and pillages, plundering. There's a lot packed in there once we begin to understand words and just the power of them. I suspect. And
you know what, 05? Sorry, I'm glad you brought up that as well, right? Because when I think of a crusade, when someone's on a crusade, that means dedication, right? Dedicated to practicing racism, white supremacy. That's how I interpret crusade. If you're on a crusade, this is your life's work. This is your mission. And people that practice racism, white supremacy are not ignorant about what they're doing. They're not ignorant about practicing racism. It's a crusade for them. It's a dedication. And yeah, sorry, I just had to say, I'm glad that you brought up that Cape Crusader. I don't think that's an accident. I think that's deliberate.
Yeah, and this is an awesome time to just roasting moment, because subconscious or conscious, deliberate or not, it really doesn't matter. It's there. It's plain sight. The Dark Knight, Cape Crusader, we're able to see it. And now we are decoding it. So I'm gonna read a little bit more about Batman from Kyrie and the Hero's understanding. For this from page 199. What does the symbolism really mean? The Batman character is also part of a contradictory image and desire to be or to worship a Black hero. For many years, Batman provided millions of young white males an opportunity to fulfill these dreams, like Elvis Presley, or Black man. Like Elvis Presley, Batman, or Black man, enabled millions of people to deal with their distorted fantasies about Blackness and color. The Batman character was different from Superman. The Superman character symbolized all the white American virtues. The Clark Kent character originated from Smallville, USA, or Wayne, Dakota, the suburban area. He represents the middle-class suburban white boy. Bruce Wayne's character comes from traditional white family wealth in New York City. Both comic book characters lost their parents as children, but Bruce Wayne's character is just the opposite of Superman's. Bruce Wayne is a white male with the power to clean up the problems of the Dark Peril. He is rich, powerful, and politically connected. He also harbors a deep desire to be a Black man. He has a deep fascination with darkness and a deeper fascination with Blackness. In the daytime, he is the perfect white male and does all the good white things. He has all of the authoritative white boy credentials. He is unattached, influential, and highly cultured. He is the idealization of the perfect, powerful white male. However, like Superman, he is a master deceiver. He goes to great lengths to protect a lie. He is the master of deception and illusion. He wears a huge black mask to conceal his face and identity. This means that he is trying to not reveal his true identity or real intentions. Because he is a deceiver of people, it also means that he can freely engage in the wonderfulness of Blackness and at the same time serve as a watchdog of Black people. A man who is dedicated to the implementation of justice has no reason to practice deception. Yeah. So yeah, Batman claims to be dedicated to, serve Gotham, but practices master, just lots and lots of deceit. And there's a whole lot of racist logic that goes behind why he does that. But in a system of justice, that wouldn't be happening. Batman wouldn't have to exist or be celebrated if he lived in a system of justice. This character is just so embedded and coded, I suspect, with just what it means to be white. Going back, comparing this decoding to the ISIS papers. I forget the chapter, but where she discusses white people's fascination and attachment to leather. There's I think let me see. I think the Batman Forever film, we can see Batman and in leather, and it is often written in the comics that he's wearing leather. So there we can see another well-taken moment, and their attachment with dark leather. Just look at this outfit, his outfit right here, and I think of a dominatrix, or think of a gimp suit, maybe the one from Pulp Fiction. Not that different. Not that different. Very, very
Oh, can't see the
suspect.
image.
Oh, let me see. Oh, it should be there. You can't see. You can. Is everyone else having an issue seeing the image on the screen?
I can see something. I can see something now. Yep, I can see something now.
Yep. All right, and there's lots of interesting things coming from the chat. I won't read all of it, but I will read. Still learning, crusades, doing God's work. The tenet for the system of wasting white supremacy. Yeah, that is correct. Go ahead.
I had a comment for that section you just read, particularly the last part, and I don't know if anybody else kind of realized something similar, but on 200, I'll just read the part because I had it highlighted. It says he wears a huge black mask to conceal his face and identity. This means that he is trying to reveal his true identity or real intentions because he's a deceiver of people. It also means that he can freely engage in the wonderfulness of Blackness and at the same time serve as a watchdog of Black people. For me, I instantly thought of like tragic arrangements and how oftentimes white people, it really shows the confusion on the part of the victim, because now these white people are allowed to come in, hide their true intentions behind so-called loving Black females or Black males, and now they're able to freely engage in the wonderfulness of so-called Blackness, whatever that means, but ultimately just serve as a watchdog of Black people. So that instantly I thought, oh, that black mask, that must mean, having a Black male, having a Black female, and being able to do whatever you want, and nobody suspecting you of practicing racism. So I think that can be said also for the Dark Knight. Nobody ever expects Batman to be practicing racism, right? Everybody expects him to be a superhero vigilante, fighting for the common good. But I think that's farthest thing from the truth. I don't know if anybody else had that kind of thought, but that's what I thought when I heard that particular section.
I had something similar, Kwaku. I had a similar thought almost. I was thinking Dr. Francis Cress Welsing and the famous saying that white women want a tall, dark, and handsome. And Guy, white man. But this is his way of being a Black male, being tall, dark, and handsome because he has on dark outfit. I wanted to read page 201. Gotham City decoded means Harlem. It means crime in the Black city. All crimes take place in Gotham City, aka Harlem. The sound of the two words Harlem and Gotham is very similar. Both of the words include the spelling of the word ham, which means in religious code a Black male, as in the Holy Bible. The words Gothic and ham are coded terms that refer to Blackness. The word Harlem sounds close to the words harem and harlot, or woman of the street, whore, pimp, and crime. And I always thought that Gotham um was in Harlem. I knew it was in New York, and I was just like, wow, this is really interesting. It was always like dark and gritty and grimy, and I was like, what is this? So yeah, I definitely see this. I always thought that myself, and yeah, that's all for now.
Yeah. Thank you, Helen. Thank you, Kwaku. It reminds me, and the 2022 Batman film coming up, we will be seeing a tragic arrangement. We will be seeing Batman sexually aggress on. I think this is Zoe Kravitz, the actor. But I don't know, but I suspect she's a non-white female. I
Yes,
may,
sir. Yes,
yeah.
that's her.
Yep. So Selena Kyle, she's playing Catwoman, and they I saw the trailer, and you see them, positioned very sexually. So it just gutter sex is always promoted, and the system of white supremacy is very incorrect. White people should not be having sex with non-white people in a system of racism that is rape. Um, yeah, thanks for reading that.
When
Go ahead.
sorry, go. Oh yeah, I was gonna just quickly. Race soldiers. The way I look at it, race soldiers are all Batmen, right? All like so-called police or race soldiers shooting black people are all living out their sort of fantasy of
Yes.
being Batman, right?
Yes.
Running around harming black people, and even a more grotesque. You guys brought up tragic arrangements. A, a long time ago when I was in a tragic arrangement, two things that I heard from two different white females, right? Ex-boyfriends of theirs, ex-sexual partners of theirs, which were white men. These two white men said, even though this is a grotesque example, I'm not really sure what I can say on YouTube, but they expressed the same thing where they said their white boyfriend, their white partners would say, do you want me to F you with my black blah, 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 right? That's what these white men would say to their white female lovers.
Like dildo?
Right? No. With my black, do you want me to? This is a white man talking to his white girlfriend.
Wow.
Do you want me to F you with my
black phallus?
Yeah, right? Now, can you
So
imagine the weird? Can you imagine
playing,
that?
So role playing,
Strange
like they
role
have
play. Yeah, they want to,
okay.
they want to take on, in some sort of strange way, they're visualizing themselves as a black person, right? And that, and some people listening to that weird, grotesque example, right, they might think it's a little strange. Listen to, I think it's really telling what Kahari Enahara says here on page 202. It goes on to one of the paragraphs into another one, and he says, the black car, the black and dark suit, the black hat, black shoes and socks, black cell phones, black ink pens, black beepers, and some of the symbols are some of the symbols of black power. This is no accident. Deep within the mind of the racist, he or she fears blackness, and this fear is expressed through reverence for the black color. This constitutes the confusion. The white supremacist loves and hates blackness at the same time. While blackness is a symbol for all things evil, it is also used as a symbol of power and prestige. The desire of the white supremacist to attain color is embedded in his fear and respect for blackness. And I think that is an excellent use of words that Kahari and Haro has chosen here on page 202. And that sums up exactly like what those white females told me those years ago. I can well believe them that those white men were saying things like that to them. Do you want me to F you with my black phallus? It's just what kind of weird mind, in a way they hate black people, but in a strange sort of way, they have a strange sort of reverence where in some areas of life, they wish they were us. So yeah, very, very just excellent word. I just recommend people get that book just for that little passage, because that is so, Kahari and Aharo just sums up a lot of that weird white supremacist, strange pathology, love, hate, mostly hate relationship with that they have for Black people and the way they see us.
Yeah, spend every day, spend 365 days practicing racism, but one of those days they wouldn't dress up as a Black person, so-called during Halloween, because they still have that strange attraction and a fascination with Black colored things, non-white things. I think you said an excellent point when you called when you said race soldiers are Batman. I think that is very, very correct. Because what is Batman? Like Batman's first priority is to fight crime. He's a crime fighter. He's part of the Justice League. And they fight crime, and that's so-called what race soldiers, law enforcement is supposed to be doing. And if we pay attention to like the last recent cinematic versions of Batman live action, he beats the hell out of like these criminals. He just beats them. He just beats the hell out of them. If you watch the trailer to the Batman 22 film coming up, you will see him beating the hell out of a criminal, and that trailer as well. And that's what race soldiers do to non-white people every day all around the world. I am certain. So I think race soldiers are role playing as Batman a large part of the time. And also Batman is he's a regular person. He's not in the sense of his finances, but he's just a white man. He has he maintains his fitness naturally. He doesn't have superpowers, but he's still capable of solving crimes and doing all these great things. That is also racism and white supremacy. Putting it into the minds of white people that as long as you're white, you could do anything. You don't need superpowers. You just need to be cunning like Batman, deceptive like Batman. Batman is very, very, very deceptive. He has people very close to him that do not know that he's Batman. And white people must be very, very deceptive to maintain the system, to keep the system going. That's like a skill that they practice and hone from birth. They're taught that, how to be deceptive, because that goes on once the direct violence fails. That's what they use. Before the direct violence, most times they have used a deception, and that's gonna take them a long way. So but Batman is definitely a sick symbol for what it means to be white, I suspect, and just has all the pathology mixed in with it as well.
Drink Water said, it's not strange. It's all down to their feeling of lack of color, fear of genetic annihilation of their privileged status, but still feel that they are wrong according to nature. And he also said they hate us because they ain't us. I thought that was a good line.
Yeah, agreed. Thank you. Drink Water. I agree. It's not strange, but it makes racist logical sense. And looking at it from a counter-racist perspective, it makes a lot of sense as well. Reminds me of what something Neely Fuller said about the reason why white people do not like Black people, because they are not Black people. Still Learning says, why else would a supreme person need to inhibit a less powerful person unless the supreme person is actually a fake and uses physical and administrative violence to hide their weakness? Yeah, that is correct. That is a tactic used in the system. Folks have any more comments they'd like to talk about Batman? Yeah, I hope folks understand that Batman is evident that just how zany and insane we have all been made. Like Batman is if we were correct thinking people, we would view Batman as a insane racist who goes out and instead of producing a system of justice, gets pleasure and glory from beating up people and Yeah, really incorrect. And he's worshipped. You know, people get this character tattooed on him. You know, we got films coming out with him making billions of dollars in this system. So white people are very, very insane. Their characters they create are insane, and non-white people, myself included, are very, very insane as well, right next to white people. But I think white people are more insane because they produce all of this insanity that we have to counter.
I think one way that Batman continues to confuse a lot of us victims is through like you'll see on the film, you know, he's rich, tons of resources, political pull, whatever you want, whatever a powerful white male has, Batman has it, you know. And I think it's also important that even though he wears this, you know, all this black clothing, you can still see his face, right, his mouth, so you can confirm he's a white person. But I should add that. But even though he has all this political power and all these resources, it seems like that's not enough to end the system or the crime that's being had in the fictional Gotham. He has to dress up in black and go fight black people or crime people dressed in black. And I think it confuses people because oftentimes you see, like, I guess philanthropists also do kind of doing that. You know, they'll donate some money to these organizations, or he'll build a hospital or something, or build a school. But I think, you know, that one thing that we have to remember is that that is not enough to end the system of racism. There will be a number of racist white supremacists who will, you know, donate buildings, money, and they know it will not be enough to end the system of racism. So I think in terms of Batman continues to not do enough to end the system of racism, white supremacy. I think Batman greatly benefits from the crime that is in that city, because without the crime, there would be no Batman. And I don't think he would, because of how insane he is, I don't think he would want that to end. So he's never going to do enough to end that system and the fictional crime in that city. Just like racist man, racist woman will never do enough to end the system of racism, white supremacy. They'll give a couple trinkets, they'll donate a couple hospitals, they'll donate some buildings, they'll give a couple of black children, black offspring, some scholarships to go to school, but it will never be enough. And I think that is what is being represented in this film with Batman.
Well, just a character of Batman, I would say the character, just the whole what does it mean to be Batman, and then, you know, what does Batman mean in the system of white supremacy, and what it means to be I think it just means white. Batman is a good example of, like, you know, just how white people function and would like to function and what they have fun doing. I think what you said is tragic. What you said, I was laughing while what you were saying, because it's just tragic that we have to use our time and energy to discuss such insane things because we are in a insane system. Yeah, but Batman, like white people who want to maintain the system of white supremacy racism, are not gonna end the crime of racism and produce justice, because it would take away all their pleasure and all their comfort and just the ability to practice racism. So something has to we have to get enough non-white people codified with thought, speech, and behavior, so the race problem can be eliminated.
I guess we should just point out as well, with all these superheroes, whether we're talking about Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, whoever, these superheroes who are classified as white. Remember, white people don't have any heroes, not real heroes. That's why they have to make their heroes up, right? Their white people are not oppressed, so they need to fabricate their heroes. For a lot of people who are oppressed, like black people, victims of a
Thank
system of
you.
race and white supremacy, right? We have real heroes, people who give their lives, who've given their lives, right? Who voluntarily or otherwise, who were just snuffed out just like that, and people who went up and fought against racism, white supremacy in some spectacular ways, and have made and have dedicated their lives to explaining what racism, white supremacy is to other non-white people, doing dangerous work in that area. Right, we have real heroes. We have a need for real heroes. White people don't really have a need for real heroes. So that I guess that just needs to be pointed out. You know, that's why they have to fabricate all their heroism, right? And then have black people sometimes in the film to support the white people in their heroism, because they don't have any need to have heroes. When you've got the world at your feet and you're in charge of that system of racism, white supremacy, you don't look up to anybody else. You look up to yourself, because you're a white supremacist. You're already at the top, aren't you? So yeah, just thought I'd just add that.
Excellent point.
Yeah,
Excellent.
very, very precise, and just right on the nail of with that analysis. And this is just tragic because they got us non-white people worshiping Batman. That reminded me of when I was a smaller child. I'm dressed as Batman for Halloween, and my victim sibling, twin brother, is dressed as Robin. You know, we're just having fun being these racist characters. And racism white supremacy is so refined and so powerful that it has even got non-white people creating these characters that represent what it means to be white and racism white supremacy without even properly understanding that. You know, we have one of the most celebrated animes ever created. It's called Dragon Ball Z, and it celebrates a racist man by the name of Goku, who's a white person who goes around, you know, beating up non-white creatures. You know, he's basically the strongest being in the universe, blonde hair, you know, blue eyes, green eyes, whatever. So it just, you can tell of how non-white people have been just sabotaged mentally severely, which is why I have no problem calling myself retarded and the whole entire non-white collective retarded, because the damage is so in our faces. Why are we spending our time and energy creating all these white characters and celebrating them? It's because we've been victimized to the degree to do so, to this degree to do so. So if you really know what you're looking at, I hope that makes sense. I'll leave it line for now.